Hi, Lachlan McVie here, and today I'm going to be talking about how the current political system is broken and an alternative vision for what comes next. This is what's missing, okay? I think we can all agree things are not looking good. Things are getting more expensive, housing's out of control, people can't afford, wages are stagnating, the problems. There's a mental health epidemic. There's drug problems. There's suicide epidemic. It goes on and on. Sub-replacement fertility rates. There are experts now saying that across the West, we're headed for civil war. Okay, we're talking about the breakdown of our society, where the average person is struggling. Okay? Now, what's missing is an alternative vision, an alternative viable vision for the future. So, I'll just say, the role of the right, historically, is to preserve the traditions and values of the past. Okay, that's why you see figures from the right, like Trump, saying, "Make America great again." He's referring to some time in the past. We want to restore something from the past. Then you've got the left, historically, is supposed to come up with alternative visions for the future. Now, the left hasn't come up with anything for decades. And the most they've come up with is this crazy woke ideology that does not work for the vast majority of the citizenry of the Western civilization. It basically points that the straight white man is an evil bugger. Okay, there is alternative visions. I'm going to put one forward. I'm going to put one forward now. But what I want in the comments section, if you have an alternate vision for the future, I want to see it. And I want to see a dialogue and a debate in the comments section about alternative visions for the future. Let's get some dialogue and visionary going about what comes next. Okay? The current system, I'll put it this way. Gary's Economics recently did a video on why house prices have not collapsed. And if we were living in a market economy, housing prices should have reset. Now, I'm going to put Gary's Economics link in the comment section below because he does a great job of explaining why it has not collapsed. Okay? Basically, it points to, if we don't do something about this, our children will be peasants. Okay? We're heading towards some sort of new feudal estate. But anyway, I won't digress. I'm going to put forward the alternative vision for the future, and I want to hear your versions of what you think should happen. So, I'm a very big football fan, and the best league in the world is the English Premier League. Why is it the best league in the world? Because it has a promotion and relegation system, and a merit-based system that ensures that the best players and the best clubs are in the top. If the top teams are not performing and fall in the bottom three teams of the ladder, they get relegated. And the league below, which is the Championship League, then you have League 1, League 2 and so on down below, they get promoted or relegated depending on their performance. Okay, the performance is clear. Are they winning games? Games won through goals, lost through conceding goals. Okay, it's all clearly defined. Now, it's a meritocratic system. If you look at a Premier League team, there is a diverse range of people in each team. Diverse racial backgrounds, diverse religious backgrounds. They just want the best footballers. Okay? You contrast that system to our current political system. Our current political system is two mugs getting up in suits, and as long as they are members of two separate clubs, there can only be two clubs that can debate or are going to be part of this whole thing. And they get microphones and they're going to talk about how good they're going to make things. If you were going to select a football team off this system, you would never win any games. Not even close. You wouldn't be in the Premier League. You wouldn't be in League 100. Okay, if you got microphones and you gave them to two of your mates, and only your mates can talk, and then those two just talk about how good they're going to score goals and what they're going to do and when they're going to do it, but they're not held accountable at all when they get in to the team. They're not going to do anything when they get in the team. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous system that we have now. It is just puppetry. It's theatre. It does not produce. None of our leaders are competent. None of them. They're all ridiculous jokes. Their main goal is to protect the interests of the people that gave them the microphone in the first place, to have that little silly debate. So how would this new system work? A meritocratic system. First, you have to define the goals clearly. Goals need to be defined. In football, it's goals scored versus goals conceded. That's it. In the political system, you want health, welfare, freedom, security, and prosperity. Those 5 things for the most people in our society, the majority. So how does this work? In the football scene, there's a selection that takes place in the junior academies. The junior academies are looking at players. They identify, okay, this player right here, he looks like he's a goer. They get put into the junior academies and then they're developed. Then as they play and they continue to improve, they go up into better teams, and in the end, if they're good enough, they'll be in the top team. Okay, it's a meritocratic system. In the political system, you would want the schooling to have as evenly based playing field as possible. And the testing, and you're looking at natural leadership abilities and testing, something similar to a NAPLAN test or something like that, across the nation. And basically you're picking students. Okay, that student has the ability, the potential, doesn't have the ability, but has the potential to be a future leader. After school, they can go into university, secondary education and learn further specialized skills to be able to lead. Following that, they would go into the lower leagues, the local council, and work in the local council. This is where the competition begins. The competition is between all the other local councils, and every year there would be, instead of voting, there would be a survey. So the general population would go to the voting booths or the survey booths and basically report on the health, welfare, freedom, security, and prosperity of how they are doing at the local level, regional level, state level, and federal level. Okay? Based on that performance score, the best leaders would be promoted to the next level. So you go local council up to the regional level. If they're still doing well and kicking goals at the regional level, they go up to the state level. And then if they're doing well at the state level, they go up to the federal level. You could even have a few more levels in between. But you want it so the person that gets to the federal leadership position, they know what they're doing. They are highly competent. They have gotten the best scores since local council all the way through to the federal level. They know exactly what they're doing. They know how to run the country. They are highly competent. Their team is competent. They have the best around them. That's who you want running the country. You don't want some muppet in a suit debating for 15 minutes. That's ridiculous. Our system is ridiculous. We spend more time and more energy picking our football teams than we do the leadership of our country. It is ridiculous. And then we're wondering why these corrupt muppets aren't doing the job for us. They can't run a chook raffle. It's bad. It is really bad. We need the best. And the left at the moment, they're all about, we need more representative of, females, minorities, this and that. Look at the Premier League teams. The fan base of the Premier League do not care of the racial or religious makeup of that team. They don't care. All they care about, are they winning for our team? It's blind. You look at it, it is so diverse. It is the best getting in, doing the best job for the vast majority of the citizenry. It doesn't matter who they are or where they come from. And you will see that they will have the mandate of the people because they will have proven themselves to achieve those outcomes throughout every level. Okay? So clear goals, selection process, competition, and feedback loop. Okay? Now, if you have other viable alternatives, please put them in the comments section. I want to hear them. I want to see them. Let's get the conversation going. I'll just say about this. A lot of people are talking about communism, socialism. It's been done. It's been done a million times. It doesn't work. I tell you why it doesn't work. What you do is you put the government bureaucracy, the current government bureaucracy, the current one, filled with incompetent blunderers across the entire economy. So you eradicate the capitalist system and you replace it with bureaucrats. From the entire place is run by inept people who got their position through connections. That's what communism is. That's what socialism is. That's what ends up happening. If you're a friend of the party, if you know people in the party, you'll get the position. You're in the position. You run it it is ridiculous. It's nepotism at its most. That's why it doesn't work. That's why it collapses. Capitalism, on the other hand, is semi-meritocratic. And the way it does this is it has clear goals. The clear goal is to make as much money for the owner as possible. To achieve that, they need to provide goods and services at the best price possible. And basically, those that win at that game, provide the most value, they basically succeed and continue to make money. And those that can't do that go bankrupt. So that's the competition and the feedback loop. Now, the problem is in our current system is the competition is allowed to swallow up the other teams, the other players in the system, and this is where it differs from the Premier League. If let's say Manchester United is going well, all of a sudden it just doesn't gobble up Chelsea and Liverpool, and in the end you've only got Manchester United, one team in the Premier League. That's not how a meritocratic system works. And the capitalist system, if our leadership was doing their job properly, would prevent large players from purchasing and gobbling up all the competition so that you only have monopolies and oligopolies. An oligopoly is when there's 2 or 3 players. That should not ever happen. But our corrupt and inept current leadership, who only want to help out their golfing buddies, allow this to occur and stifle competition, so that the capitalist system begins to become just as bad as a socialist or communist system. Even those companies stop providing good value because there's no competition. Okay? to the elite that are watching this, if you don't do something, there will not be a society. Okay, we're heading for a civil war. At the best case scenario is we end up a third world country. And I don't know if you've been to third world countries lately, but if you like living constantly under the threat of being kidnapped or assassinated, that's what living in a third world country is like. And being surrounded by walls and security guards and everything else. That's where you're headed, best case scenario. Worst case scenario is all out civil war and nowhere safe. That's what you're going to do if you continue to stifle our current system. That's where you're going to end up. So things need to change. How will a meritocratic system be implemented? And looking at it and analysing it, I don't actually think that it can be changed from within. I don't think that a candidate can be voted in and make the necessary changes to implement a meritocratic system. So what does that mean? It means that the current system has to be changed completely. New constitution, new everything. Okay? And then a meritocratic system put in. The meritocratic system will be slow to get going. In the first years, you will have people that aren't quite the best in the positions. Just like when you start a new league, and you see sometimes with new leagues, more recently like women's leagues of certain sports, they start off pretty rough. But as they get going and the professionalism builds up and the meritocracy starts to take over, the leagues get better and better, more and more professional, and then all of a sudden you've got a really good thing going. So that's going to be the same with this. It's going to take time to implement. You're going to have a rough start, and then once the meritocratic sort of system cuts in, you're going to have the best leadership running the place. Okay? I'll leave it at that. If you've got a better idea, please put it, don't just be somebody who whinges and doesn't have an alternative. Have an alternative. I want to hear your alternative. Let's go. Thank you.